Can I have your attention, please? It is now time for the moment everyone has been waiting for. Tea time with T and Robyn.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds awesome.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm. Wait. Everybody, calm down.
What's up, everyone? We are back. It is Tea Time with Robyn, episode 48. Almost close to the 50s. Almost. We're almost there. So, yeah, we're back. What's up? What's up? Hi, Robyn. How you doing?
Oh, hi, T. I'm so glad to see you. I am so glad to see you. What a relief. We all have taken a gigantic sigh. I could hear it all the way in Wyoming. It was like, when the Jets game ended.
Yes.
Literally a big sigh. But I'm glad to be here. And one thing I want to say before we get started is happy Thanksgiving to everybody who's listening to this. We're recording on Wednesday. So happy Thanksgiving on Thursday.
Yes.
And I am thankful for my good friend T. And that's what I'm thankful for the most, because I have had so much fun on this podcast with you, girlfriend.
Oh my God.
Tell you.
I am thankful for you as well. And happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there. Yes, I am thankful for you coming on the show and saying yes. Say, yes, I will do it. Thank you.
Let's go.
Yes. So, I mean, I don't know if we were holding our breath, but I was like, please let us win this game. We need this game. Josh needs this game. Josh needs to have fun. The fans need to, to let their hair down and just watch a game and be all right. But the first play of the game, it was set the tone for the game. I think he took his soul. He took his soul away.
Reggie Gilliam, I think that we need to have a little appreciation moment for Reggie Gilliam, because he is so under the radar and so underappreciated, in my opinion, because that guy it's exactly what you said. He put his soul into that tackle. Mm-hmm. That tackle was one of the ones that would rival Mike Stratton's tackle from the 60s, when that was called the hit heard round the world. Oh. Well, that hit that Reggie Gilliam put on was really right up there, because he smacked him and the ball it's like it just flew out of his hand.
And he didn't even realize it came out.
No, he didn't, because he was
so concentrated on the freaking hit.
He got pummeled. And then Hugh Morris picks it up. It was like, oh God, it was great. And then of course Q gets on Twitter afterwards and says, well, maybe you should get fined for that.
Please don't give him no ideas.
Fine for that hit.
Yeah.
And of course the comeback is like,
yeah, right. But this team looked like the team like week 3, week 4. They looked like a different team. And I said, something looks different with Josh. No. He has a haircut. I said it. I've said it. Sometimes just cutting your hair, shaving. I mean, I know what happened. Ken Dorsey's gone. A lot of the weight was taken off with Josh, and you've seen it. And we also, if you haven't gone and read Robyn's article, please go do so, because she touches on some things about Josh and his family and what it means to have people around you that are familiar with who you are. They bring you, they ground you. Yes. So go over there and check her article out on fan.
It was noted. It was so noted. And of course, I have to tell anybody who's listening, the first thing that entered my brain cells when I saw that haircut was you, T.
I
even wrote about it. It was like, oh my God, T is like, cut that hair.
Because he looked so worn, so defeated, so like, I don't know what's going on with my football career right now, guys. And when he cut his hair, and it could be such a small thing, and it could be something like, oh, that doesn't mean anything, but it really does. It really affects your mood and who you are. It does. So when he did it, I just thought that was the Josh of, I'm not saying that this is going to happen, of when they went to Kansas City and should have won that game. He looked like that Josh. So hopefully this is a run, because we need him and the team to be on their A games. But let's talk about some things that we liked. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just want to add one more thing about that haircut. There was a book that was written in the 80s called Dress for Success. And it was from the time of believing that how you dressed, how you groomed yourself is a statement. And it truly is. Because one of the things that we look for as psychotherapists is how, when someone comes in and they're there to see you because their whole world is upside down, and you look and you see that they're forlorn in their appearance as well, that says something. Mm-hmm. And many times I used to tell my clients when they would say to me, I just can't get out of this funk.
Right.
And I would suggest just what you're talking about, like go do some grooming, do some personal grooming, whatever kind. Self-care. Yep. That's the word I was trying to think of. Two words, self-care. And that's what he was, that's what needed to happen, because sometimes if you just put on the clothes, you can get yourself out of a funk.
Yep.
Just by simply playing the part. And this is what I told my clients, even if you're not feeling it, play it like you're in the theater.
You're psyching yourself out.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes. And so if you can just play the part, sometimes that's enough to make you feel like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
Right.
Convincing
I can
yourself,
do this. Yeah. So we'll talk about more about Josh and all that stuff later. But I did just have to make that point about dressing. Yeah, and how grooming sometimes can really pull people out of despair.
And I will attach the link once we do this to the pod. That I don't know if I want to drop it Friday or should I drop it? Well, I'll drop it. We'll drop it Friday like we normally do. And I'll link your article to it as well, because it's a great read. It really is. But let's talk about some things that we liked in this game.
Oh my God.
The defense showed up. Go ahead.
Because I just want to say this, like right from the get-go. Shakir. Please, everybody that has heard me begging and pleading for more Shakir, let's do this. Please, let's do this. Because Shakir showed me exactly what he could do. When he caught that pass, pivoted, and ran for a touchdown. That was a thing of beauty, wasn't it?
Do you know that's the longest touchdown this season?
Yeah, in the NFL.
Yeah. Yep. He looked good. I like it. I also like that the fact that the defense showed up. And what's his name? Douglas. Rasul Douglas, right?
Right.
Great freaking pickup. Sean McDermott. And I'm sorry, Brandon Beane. Just got to give it to you again.
That was like, wow. But that's why all these people that want to criticize Beane, sure, they flubbed on Elam. I think they realized that was a mistake.
But also, too, I don't know, though, Robyn. I don't know.
It's true.
Right?
We don't know.
Right.
We don't know. But to this point, he has proven nothing for being a first-round pick. We'll go with that. And you look and see what's happening on our defensive backfield. They are playing so much better now. And some of that I will also attribute to, because we saw it again in this game, Jordan Poyer needs to be that third safety on the field that's playing between the linebackers and the defensive backs. that's the position where he is most productive this year because he's slow now. He's
The
too
dime.
slow.
So
He's
you
too
want him in
slow.
a dime package? Is that what that is? The dime package?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Run the
Well,
dime.
I'll say this. So I guess the biggest surprise for me was T-Dot. He had himself
Yes.
a game. He was stopping the run. I mean, our
He was
defense,
all over the place.
our defense held Brees Hall to 21 yards and 10 carries.
Amazing.
Rasul Douglas had 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery.
How do you think the Packers fans feel about that? What, 6th round draft pick that we gave up to get him?
Now, you know, when someone's traded or taken or whatever, they always downplay the player, right? Certain people always not that good. But you go and you listen to their ex-players and see what they have to say about the player that they played with. And everybody gave him so much praise. Locker room, he's a locker room guy. Love to see, he's just a leader. You know, they were upset he was traded. I don't really listen to fans and say, well, he's not that great. I go and listen to what players have to say.
And so let's give Brandon Beane those kudos that he so deserves, because that was a surgically good pick.
Yes. Yeah,
trade, whatever you want to say.
Sure, yeah.
It was an acquisition that I think
We
when we look
needed.
back on it a couple of years from now, we're all going to go, whoa.
Yeah.
And you know what? So maybe we need to get off of Beane's jock about Elam.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to have those picks, though. You're going to have those ones to where, look, Cody Ford, we were all upset about Cody Ford. I think the fact that Cody never was in a right position because he was moved around, and he never fit in. Like, he never found his hitch.
Cody Ford, and I said this, I don't remember who I was talking to the other day about Cody Ford, friend of mine. That pick for me was completely confusing because I went and looked, okay, see, because they drafted him. I go, okay,
All
Cody
right.
Ford.
What did you see in this guy?
His feet.
Yeah.
He had the worst feet. His feet couldn't move. He had terrible feet, terrible feet.
Yeah.
And he's still playing. I don't know. Is it Cleveland? He's playing for somebody.
But I think it is Cleveland, because I know the last he was with Bengals, so he was Cleveland.
Good on him. You know, they can have him because he's got clawed feet that you can't fix.
Yeah.
So the point is, though, Beane and company can whiff on picks, but we also have to give them as much due credit, because this guy, Rasul Douglas, how do you think the Packer fans are feeling this week about what they had to give up for a 6th round pick?
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. Yeah, bright spot for sure. Rasul, I love it. Another bright spot, some things that we might like. The running game was efficient, and they played smart.
Down to the running game had rhythm.
Yes.
And we'll talk about Joe Brady later on, but the running game had rhythm. And the other thing I want to mention, the offensive line. Kudos.
Yes.
Because by golly, these are the same 5, and they have their moments, but overall they have played very well this year.
They opened up some run lanes for these guys, Cook and Murray, to break off some big chunk plays. I like the fact that the run game opened up the passing game for Josh. They played with energy. That's what bottom line for me is that these guys, I don't know what it was, but they played with a different type of energy, for lack of a better word. You've seen Joe Brady out there saying that he wants Josh to be Josh. What does that tell you? When an old offensive coordinator know what's going on and said, I just want Josh to be Josh. He's seen it. He's seen stress Josh. He's seen the long hair with his beard not maintained. He's seen it. That's all I want. I want Josh to play like Josh.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I'm with you.
He said, yeah.
With you.
Right? Do we have anything more that we like in this game, or we gonna move? We gonna move on.
Pretty much covers it because I got things to talk about what I didn't like, but you go first.
So I didn't like the Hail Mary.
Ah, okay.
I get it. I didn't like it. I know, if you're a casual fan and you're looking, Josh got 12 interceptions. I get it. Yes. But some of those things were just, maybe 2 or 3 of those interceptions was just throwing the ball down the field. And I'm just like, Josh, that's going in that line over there. The interception line is going on that side of the board. But they don't care. And I could take those type of interceptions, right? Absolutely. I don't care about those. So I guess if I had to say something, that would be that one. I didn't like that part.
Could we have an analytic for the number of interceptions we don't care about? Right? Like, he had this many interceptions, but 8 of which we didn't give a shit about.
Right. I love it.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it my turn?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Gabriel Davis. Gabriel. Hello, Gabriel. Are you anywhere to be found in a positive way? No target.
I'll throw him some bail.
Good.
Because Joe Brady said, and that's the only reason why I'm going to throw him some bail, that he helped out in a big way when it comes to his run blocks, right? I get it. But I'm not paying you. They're not going to pay you $15 million or whatever it is that you want for blocking, buddy. They're not.
No. And the fact that there's no real threat,
right,
really stifles Diggs because he gets hammered.
Yeah, we've seen it.
Coverage because nobody's afraid of Gabriel Davis at the moment.
No one is afraid of a threat on wide receiver 2 at all. Even though Shakir had a great game, I get it. I love it. If you are consistent with it, then I'll think about the fact that we got a weapon over there. I think more people may be afraid of Kincaid than Shakir because Kincaid is a threat.
He's a real threat.
And another thing, I know we're on the opposite side of things we didn't like. I didn't put in here the things I did like. The fact that Kincaid is now a weapon. Really? They use the middle of the field, Robyn.
Now, for the first time in a long time.
And that's Dalton Kincaid. That's Shakir. Like you can bring Diggs in the inside. Like you can use him as a slot player as well. Like so
Diggs can go anywhere.
Right. Ultimately, no, it's not a new book, right? It's not a new playbook. I just think it's different things because you from the week then to the week of the Jets, he couldn't put all these different things in to say throwing the book out. This is what we're doing. You know what I mean? He was like, no, this is what.
Learn it all by Thursday.
Okay, and they'll have a test on Friday. Like it didn't happen that way, but it damn sure looked different.
Very,
to say the least.
Very different. One of the other questions I had from the game didn't have to do with a player's performance, but more the Bills fan base's reaction to Von Miller.
Oh.
Von Miller is getting better every week. And I think it's completely unfair for people to expect him to be 100% at this point, especially at his age, especially at a position that's bendy, and especially because I just found this out, that he was told he had to wear a knee brace for 1 year, and the 1 year anniversary is Thanksgiving, so it'll be interesting to see whether or not he's wearing that brace, because that might make a difference for him, because that position is so bendy, and braces are there for a reason to keep you from bending. So it will be interesting to see. But I think, and this is just my opinion, but I think fans who have been criticizing Von Miller are way off base.
Yeah, if you guys are criticizing him, don't you think that he's upset as well?
True.
Like Von Miller is a competitor, so for him to not to be able to bend or to get around, he spoke about it that play against Russell. He couldn't get to him. If that
Right.
probably would have been
A
a
sack.
sack, right? So for him not to get to him, I know he's frustrated. Another, when you said that, the fans that brought this up, booing. I'm like, am I hearing booing? I'm like, you're entitled to it. You can do it. I just thought it was crazy because you're booing when Josh did a Hail Mary and it was 6-16 going into the half. I'm pretty sure that's when it happened. If I'm wrong, I apologize. I'm just like, they're getting their footing. At any time in that game, I did not think that the Jets will come back and beat the Bills. No part of that told me that was going to happen.
Was set from the get-go when Reggie Gilliam established hell on the field.
And also it was established when you couldn't get to 2, or they went for 2 or they went for 1. I couldn't remember. They just scored a touchdown, 1, and couldn't get the extra point. So I wasn't at any point during that game afraid that the Jets will come back because this offense was just...
They were clicking.
The defense was just on point. So, yeah.
1 point, though. The defense was on point, and I completely agree with that. With one asterisk, one very, very large 300-plus pound asterisk in Jordan Phillips. Jordan, please stop with the stupid-ass penalties. We can't afford to take him. I think that was the 3rd game in a row where he's gotten a 15-yard penalty for being stupid.
What did he do? I didn't even. I don't know what I was doing. Okay.
I
know it was there.
Yeah,
someone,
it's out of control.
Because someone in the house said Jordan Phillips again. I was like, what happened? He's like, I was like, oh my God, we can't afford that against Philly. We cannot afford that against Philly. Some things I didn't like. I'm glad he's fine. Rap is fine. Scared me. Can we please stop with the ambulance coming on to the field? It's like it's constant reminder. Like we're seeing it now often, and I'm just like, no, not another player.
Well, and the other thing that I'll just tag on to what you just said. The other thing that's very annoying is whenever there's a disaster like that, they flash on Damar Hamlin.
Why is that?
Because they think that that's what people want to see. Oh, how's Damar doing this? No, we don't. We know, we trust Damar. Damar's good.
And I don't think Damar wants to be the spokesperson of every tragedy that happens in football.
He doesn't. And he
Can y'all please stop? Thank you. Another one I have, but it's all with, with the rap thing, was Dane Jackson and Johnson, and both in concussion protocol. I know this is part of the game, but I hate to see our guys go down.
Concussions scare the crap out of me.
They do. Me too. Ever since Tua, I'm sorry. Ever since Tua, I just get nervous.
Tua is still one crack to the head.
He is.
He's living on borrowed time.
That he's getting that ball out. So, and that's
they're winning games, they're doing whatever, but he's going to get cracked, and it might come on Black Friday because that's going to be a game between the Dolphins and the Jets.
I know we beat you, Jets, but if you could do us a favor, we'll appreciate it.
Homies.
No love lost, right?
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna move on to spilling the tea.
Wait a minute.
Come on, just spill that tea for me. Spare no dirty tea. Yeah, tell me everything. Come on, just spill that.
I'm sorry. You had something else?
Well, we had a little chat we were going to have about Joe Brady, but let's spill the tea and then we can do Joe Brady.
Okay. All right. My bad.
I'm just going according to the list according to T.
I know. My bad.
Just spill.
Go ahead. You got it.
What do you got for spilling?
My spill the tea is they should have fired Ken Dorsey sooner.
Okay.
Sorry. I just felt I don't know. I just felt like we would not be in the position that we're in if we maybe would have fired him 2 games prior. Maybe the New England game. I don't know. I just thought it was just I hope it's not too late. Let me just say that. I hope it's not too late for the Bills to go on a run and get in as a wild card. I'm glad he did it, because I was a fan who said, you don't fire your OC in the middle of the season. If you're doing that, you're saying this season is washed. Let's move on to next year. That was me. I'm glad I was wrong.
The timing was weird, wasn't it?
It was.
Because he was almost at the point where it's like you want to just have him finish out the season, right? And then you can make changes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But at that particular point, it felt weird. It felt like a desperation move. And am I saying that it didn't need to happen? No, I'm not saying that. But that kind of segues into, and maybe we should do this, and then I'll go into my spilling the tea. But one of the big things that makes me think that you may be right about it being, they should have done it before, is how Joe Brady has handled being the OC at the last minute.
So smooth.
Fantastic job. And I do want to say this for anybody that's interested in the analytics. Cover One, Eric Turner on YouTube did a nice little segment breaking down how Joe Brady worked that game.
Okay.
And one of the things that he talked about, and I thought this was happening, not quite formally the way that Eric explained it, but there were actually, Joe Brady came in with 4 different game plans, one for each quarter. And that's different, right? Like, okay, you got this plan, this plan, this plan, and this plan. But at the same time, he was adjusting on the fly. So in other words, if something was working, he was going with it. He wasn't stopping. And that's why with the running game, we finally saw some rhythm, because he was allowing things to happen and allowing the flow to happen and adjusting accordingly. So that's one thing. The other thing I want to say about Joe Brady is that he knows how to use Shakir.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's something that disappointed me with Dorsey, was it didn't seem like he ever knew what to do with Shakir. And
because when they picked him up, I was like, okay, is he going to be the Cole Beasley of this offense,
right,
or what is this, right? So
right.
Then the next year you go and get Dalton Kincaid. Okay, great. So, and then you said that he's the Cole Beasley slot tight end. I said, okay, so where does Shakir fit in this offense?
Exactly. It never felt like there was any plan for him or any use of him in any tangible kind of way. And now we're seeing he's got sticky hands.
Yeah.
And he can move. He's fast. When he did that pivot and run for the touchdown, you could see that he had the afterburners on.
Oh yeah.
And he looked fantastic. So I think Brady, the other thing that we have to remember is people can't predict how he's going to call plays.
Right.
Dorsey got kind of predictable.
They all said it. And maybe this is, and also too, good thing is that they don't know what Brady is going to call, how he's going to call it.
Exactly.
Because you're so used to being predictable when it came to Ken Dorsey. Oh, he's going to do this. Oh, they normally do this. Oh, this is how they line up. And when it comes to Joe Brady, they don't have any idea. They only have the one tape.
And it seemed like, and this was just me and what I was looking at on the field, but to me, it seemed like Josh was more in sync with Joe Brady in terms of, he was calling less audibles. I don't know that for a fact, but it just seemed like he was calling less audibles. And that suggests that he was at peace with the way Joe Brady was calling plays.
Right. And he's up in the box too.
He didn't feel like he had to take over the game.
Right.
Like sometimes feels like he has to do. So I think he has strong faith in Brady, and that's good to see. So Brady's got a chance. This is his opportunity to display what he can do it as OC.
Yeah.
It's his job to lose.
Yeah.
His job
I will be quite honest with you. When it happened, I said on my other pod, I said, I don't think this is a permanent fix for this offense. Now, I could be wrong because of how their interaction that we did see with Joe Brady and Josh.
look good.
It looked good. I still believe when things go awry that someone has to be a person of an alpha to say to Josh, and maybe Brady is this because he was a quarterback's coach. So maybe he could be, he'll step outside of that because that wasn't his position at the time. So maybe he could be that person for Josh. I just want someone, if Josh is messing up, you get in that tail. And I don't mean to belittle him or nothing like that. Just explain, you are messing up, sir. So you need to get your head out your ass and let's get it together.
Dayball used to do it.
Right.
We saw lots of Dayball screaming at Josh on the sidelines. And yeah. Which, okay, so that segues perfectly into my spilling the tea, which is, as predicted probably, about Josh and how he performed in this game. And thanks for bringing up the article, because I did write an article. Actually, I've written a couple recently about Josh, but the one this week, I was so taken before the game started that one of the reporters, photographers, took the still picture you'll see in my article of Josh standing in the middle with his whole family around him. And by whole family, I'm talking babies. I'm talking the whole 9 yards. It wasn't just mom and dad. It wasn't just mom and dad and siblings. It was the kids. It was the whole shebang. And here's Josh standing in the middle of them with a big old grin on his face. And I have written about this before in terms of Josh. When he was struggling, I said he needs his dad. He needs his family. Well, holy crap, did they come out in full force. And that was so good to see. I knew at that point Josh was going to be okay in the game.
Right.
Because he had his entire family with him. And why do I think that that's so important? Because family knows you more than anybody else. They know what you did when you were 3 years old. The history that you have together supersedes everything else. So when you have what we call an existential crisis, and an existential crisis is one where you're questioning yourself. Okay, you're questioning your purpose in the world. You're questioning everything. And for sure, that's what we saw from Josh for a few weeks. It looked like he didn't know which end was up. And now he's coming back. In fact, there's a great little clip of him after the Shakir touchdown. Josh is on the sideline, throws his helmet.
Yes.
And says, I think I'm back. It was back. So he felt that, and you could almost tell the energy that he was getting from his loving family members around him, because and I know this as much as I know my name, that his parents said, you know what, it's time to rally the troops. And we're going to bring Thanksgiving to Josh. And I even wrote about this. If I were advising the family, I would advise them to do shift work and have somebody in the family always in Buffalo with Josh. It can be once, his brother a week, his dad a week, whatever, but it would be very helpful for him because it grounds him. Also, a wingman, that person, wingman or wingwoman, to be at his house, being able to go to the door and say, stay away. If there's too much chaos going on because people are going in and out, because Josh doesn't know how to say no to anybody. But his family can. They'll sure help him out.
Right.
I think more than anything, and this is my spilling the tea, that having family for Josh, surrounded by family, was the most helpful thing that could have happened over this past week. And I commend the Allen family for doing what they did, because they knew Josh needed the rest of them. He needed his whole family.
Yeah. For sure. I agree with that. I agree with that. I'm just reading here a tweet. I don't even know what it's called, by
X.
Fab Brown, that Sean McDermott said on the Bills offense. Offense can't just have fun because they want to. Everyone can go in the backyard and have fun. In this league, you have to earn it.
Ooh.
So,
whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, then. That sounds like a little pushback from the coach, doesn't it?
a little bit.
And maybe that's what's supposed to happen. I don't know, but I think it's true what he's saying. You can't just go out and play backyard football, but at the same time, you need to enjoy what you're doing. As I have talked about recently, Josh has been burnt out. He looks like he didn't look like he was burned out against the Jets. I think he was going out and having fun.
I also do think it wasn't. He's seen the play. He goes back and watched the film. He's seen that he wasn't playing up to Josh, even though the stats are what they are, right?
Right.
He's going to say, that's me. Great. But what I'm looking at is not what that is. Period. So I'm glad, like, if he thinks he's back, I'm riding with you, Josh. I love what I see on Sunday. Speaking of Sunday, there's another game that's going to be played. It's going to be played in Philly. God bless everybody that's going to go to Philly. Woo! God bless you. Heard some stories. Will not be attending. Never will attend Philly a game.
Never.
This team defense is really good. It's really good. But also, too, I seen against that Chiefs game, there's some cracks. Mm-hmm. So if this offense and Josh can take advantage of some cracks that are showing on this Philadelphia team, I think we can come out and shock the world, because they're number one right now in the NFL. So
they looked vulnerable. I agree with you. They looked vulnerable to me in terms of playing against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And of course they won the game, which is great, but did they really win the game because they're so great, or did they win the game because the Chiefs were not looking like the Chiefs?
The Chiefs have not scored a touchdown in the second half of a game. I forgot what they said. I don't know how many games, maybe 4 or 5. If I'm misquoting, I apologize. But they haven't scored a touchdown in the second half in a minute. So the Chiefs are going through some stuff as well as the Buffalo Bills. But that's all you hear. You don't hear too much about other teams. You hear about the Buffalo Bills are frauds and stuff like that. So.
And this year is so crazy because there's enough games left to make a huge difference.
Oh, and absolutely.
So many teams in the AFC are stacked up. It's going to be a nightmare trying to figure out who's going to win.
It's going to be a dog race towards the end.
Yeah, it is.
Every win, every loss is going to matter. This is why, if we're going to take advantage of the Eagles, I want to say it's got to be this week. It's got to be now. I mean, I know their pass rushes are they're beasts. If we can contain Swift, the running back is dangerous. AJ Brown is a weapon, but they held him to 11 yards last week, I want to say. But at any time he can go off. So that's why we need our corners. We need our corners back and healthy. Because
the Bills defense needs to be aggressive.
Yes.
And I'm the first one to say I love blitz. I don't want people to blitz 100% of the times, but if it's used properly, it can be very effective. Something Leslie Frazier refused to do, except for one game that I can remember in all the time that he's been defensive coordinator in Buffalo. But the Eagles are a very good team, without question. They're going to be playing at home. I think I don't know what the weather is going to be like. I haven't looked to see if weather was going to be any kind of a factor.
I've seen it now. It's supposed to be a slight rain. It's not supposed to be that game
against Kansas City.
Oh my God! I'm surprised they even threw the ball.
I know, and Travis Kelce had a terrible game.
Yeah,
and it was that was another thing that happened because the Chiefs' offense without Travis Kelce functioning at peak level is not to be feared at all.
They don't have wide receivers like that anymore.
The Eagles, it's a funny game because it's probably, of all the games that the Bills have left, it's not in conference. So if they lose, it's not a total catastrophe. But mentally, you don't want to lose. You want to start stacking some wins.
Yeah.
And that's what the Bills need to be able to do that they have not been able to do all season.
Yeah.
Stack them.
It's going to be the Eagles don't give up. They play the game. They're one of those teams that will, no disrespect, the gutter. Like they're getting down in the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
So the Bills are going to have to get down in the mud too.
Exactly.
So,
it's going to be a very physical game.
Yeah. They
better be ready for it.
Yeah, for sure. I like it though. I like upsetting the Eagles.
It would do a world of good for their psyche.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Coming from the first game against the Jets and getting punched in the face and people doubting your frauds, to going and beating Miami the way you did, and then going and getting shit-faced when it came to New England. It's just an up and down season. But then you can turn that around and knock them down just a notch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's been, who knows what the rest of this season is going to bring, because I don't have a clue. That's why it's like, ask me for predictions. Nope.
Yeah. I mean, I do, like I said, I do some in the beginning of the season. I don't say, anything outright, but I got, I got my, I got my stuff for sure. But this has been great. I love Wednesdays. I know we can't do Wednesdays, but I like the Wednesday flow.
I like Wednesdays. Wednesdays are good. Hump day.
Hump day. But that being hump day, we are out of here again. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Robyn.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and to everybody. How many people are listening?
Right.
Okay.
Whatever.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
And hey, this will come out on Friday. So if we're saying happy Thanksgiving to you, that means we've already done this recording. But this will drop on Friday. You know how it goes, guys. Again, this is always great talking to Robyn and recapping and discussing the game. And it's always go Bills. Peace out, y'all.
Until next time, Mafia, this has been Tea Time with T and Robyn.
The Bills make me wanna shout.